Australia Day to me as an Aboriginal woman, it signifies the date where a lot of sad and horrific things happened to my people in the past. So it was the start of massacres, sickness, our children being taken away from their families, the loss of culture, and much more. That was the date that it all started. That was, so that date to me, it's not a day of celebration, it's a day of mourning. It's a day where we sit and reflect what our ancestors, our grandparents, our parents went through, and what we still go through to this day, and all the barriers and stuff we have to face as Aboriginal people.
It was obviously a very sensitive day for me. It's something that I find isn't a day that should be celebrated, because obviously it was the date that our lives changed forever and our way of living. So yeah, to me, really celebrating the 26th is celebrating genocide and the dispossession of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. One day is an alternative to the 26th of January. It's an opportunity for all of us to come together and celebrate as one, acknowledging the First Nations people and acknowledging the diversity of our nation. To me, one day is a beautiful way for us to come together and celebrate in a respectful and meaningful way.
One day wasn't where we started. The conversation actually started, perhaps strangely enough, on Australia Day, the year before the first One Day. And I remember talking to Professor Len Collard, who was there to do the Welcome to Country for us, and always had a lot of respect for that. And we were just talking afterwards, and he made a bit of a offhanded comment in some ways, but he said, it's good to be here, but that Australia Day it's a day that's hard for us to celebrate. I appreciate you inviting me along, but it's not really a day of celebration for us. And it was almost at that moment a bit of a light went on, and then we talked a bit more about it, and that's when we started a conversation. We actually went out and spoke to a whole bunch of stakeholders, including lots of First Nations people from around the area. But the overwhelming feedback came back, and it wasn't unanimous, but it was overwhelming, that said, actually, we don't want you to do something better on Australia Day. We want to have another day where we can all come together and celebrate. And we're like, well, what should that day be? And the response was, well, we don't have a strong view about that. It's just it should be another day, just one other day. And I guess in many ways that was where the idea of One Day came from. It wasn't about a set another date for Australia Day. It was just one day that wasn't as divisive as January the 26th.
One day, to me, it means a lot, because, the city of Fremantle was the first council to sort of get rid of Australia Day and make a day that's more inclusive for all cultures and all people of Australia. So it makes, as an Aboriginal woman, it makes me feel included. It makes me feel like my culture is appreciated because they made that day, so everyone can be involved, obviously, to celebrate the country we live in.